Hello and welcome to our Thermomix Cutter class tonight. So tonight isn't so much about the Thermomix TM6 itself, it's about the cutter attachment. But at the end, I'll stay on for any questions you have about anything else. And tomorrow I'm going to send you all an email with the recording from tonight so you can catch up, and probably some recipe links and then some other links that might be useful for you all. So tonight as we're going, I'll just ask so that everyone can hear the presenter if you can stay on mute until the end if you want to come off and ask questions at the end. But if you have questions throughout, it would be really great if you wanted to put them in the chat just so we can help you with anything that comes up while we're going. So I will just begin with a brief overview of how to use the cutter, and then we're going to show some recipes that use the cutter. So the first thing we have is our driving shaft. Now this sits on top of your blades. There's only one way it can go, so you'll know if you've got it wrong or right, but it really only goes one way. And then we put in our bowl. And you don't need your normal Thermomix bowl lid, because the cutter bowl goes where that normally would be. And then you're going to choose on your cutting disc whether you want side 1 or side 2. And I'm hoping you can see, even if it's faintly up here, the side 1, which has pictures of round slices. And on side 2, must be the other way. It's just too faint on the screen. Oh, there we go. Side 2 is grated food, so you'll see the longer strips on that one. So on the TM6, you've got the grating and the slicing mode in your mode menu. So you go in there and choose whether you want thin or thick. Thin is 1 millimeters and thick is 4 millimeters. On your TM5, you can still use your cutter. You would just need to go to speed 4, and normal direction is thick. And if you put it on reverse, it will be thin. So they've figured out a clever way of doing that. And so when you choose which side you want it to be, that's the side you want facing up. So I am going to demonstrate slicing first, and then I'll switch to grating. So I'm going to have my slicing disc side up. So that's the dark color up and the number 2, and there's the picture of the round slices. So facing up. And then we put on our cutter lid. There's a metal rod sticking out that goes through the middle. There's only one way to do that as well, so you'll know that it's all securely in place. I've got a zucchini here that I just wanted to demonstrate with, so I'm going to try and just do a little bit of it because I want to show you all 4 with the one. We'll see how I go because it actually goes really fast. So I'm going to slice this. First I'll do thin. So that's going to be 1 millimeter.
Can we move your computer over a little bit so we can see the machine, like your camera?
Can you not see it? Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry, well, what I can see you could, but anyway, thank you for that. And now I'm going to try some thick. Oh, and so normally if I was doing lots of things, I'll use my pusher as well to guide it. I'm just holding right now because I want to control that I don't want to do the whole zucchini because I want to show you. So I'll go to thick. And now I'll just show you that. So I'll show you thin and thick slice. So I've got thin it's literally paper thin. You can see 1 millimeter, and I'll tip it out. And thick is 4 millimeters. So almost transparent to a nicely sliced zucchini. And I'll tip that out, and then I'll show you grating. And we're going to show you this in recipes in a second. I just wanted to show you as an example with one whole vegetable. And the thin one's stuck in there. There we go. So got my zucchini slices there. And so now to show you the grating, I do need to take out my disc, my cutting disc, and flip it the other way. So now I'm on the grating side, which is the lighter color gray. So I'll put my bowl in first and then stick that facing up and then put my lid on, and I'll do a thin grate and a thick grate, just so you can see the difference. I'm going to need my pusher. With this, you don't push hard, you just very gently guide it through. So I'll do thin first. And now I'll do thick. And then stop it by pushing your selector dial like you normally do to stop the Thermomix. So now you'll be able to see the difference. We've got tiny 1 millimeter grated shreds. But what I love about this is, might be easier on the plate, it's grated, but it's not mushed. Like if I can actually still pull off each individual shred. So it does a very good job. It's a very sharp cut. And then the thick is our 4 millimeter shreds. So I will arrange that on the plate so you can see the difference. It's easier if I just get my hand in at the moment. So that's the cutter on all 4 different modes. And then once you take your bowl out, you just need to remember to also take that driving shaft out. I have heard of people who have forgotten about that and then continue to use their Thermomix. So that's not great. So remember always to take that out. And then because we've inserted our cutter, your Thermomix, this is the messy part. This is clean, ready to go with the rest of your recipe. So you can prepare your veggies first or whatever you're doing in the cutter, and then your bowl is ready to go clean. So these are the different, I've got all my thin slices up the top here. So these are the 4 different ways of using your cutter. So you've got thick grate, thin grate, thin slice, and thick slice. And just, you saw how quick that was, just let it go through. It's really fast. So that's the cutter. I do want to show you, we'll get into a recipe first actually, and then I'll show you some more things on how to find resources for it as well. But we're going to cut over to Penny, who's in our team. Hopefully she's ready, maybe, to show us a recipe.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 tonight. The first one I'm going to do is a potato pancake because who doesn't need more carbs in their life? So there's a couple of things I want to show you with this, and I'm just going to move my computer closer to the screen because some of you may or may not know about the scaled recipes. So this has a serving of 4 portions, and I'm not going to eat 4 portions tonight before I go to bed. So I'm going to change it and drop it down to 2 and apply, and then it actually reduces the ingredients that you want or that you'll need. So not every recipe has it, but some of them do, and that's why I chose this particular one. Right. So this says to place the mixing bowl in the lid. We're going to weigh in our potatoes. So I've already done the first few steps. Then we put the bowl aside. Okay, so it tells us how to pop the cutter on. So we are going to pop our little shaft on, and it just sits over the top of the blades. Our bowl goes on top, if you can see that. And then I am grating, so grey. So one thing we learnt when we first got these was grey for grating and slate for slicing, and I still remember that. That's how I remember what to do. So I'm putting it with the grey side up. I'm going to stick my lid on, and then it will tell me to so we're going to pop the potato into the wide part. So I've already made sure that my potatoes will fit in. I don't know if you can see that. I can fit 2 in there, and then pop the little guide on, and we are going to do them on thick. And again, not forcing it down, but just holding it. And then I'm just going to do the rest of the potatoes. I'll show you what that looks like. So that's our thick grated potato. If I was doing the whole recipe, that would almost be full. But because I put it in two, and then I am going to, so repeat until all potatoes are grated. And then we're going to pop in our half an onion, or 50 grams of onion it is actually. And then it said 1 garlic clove, but I've got a couple. And then we're going to do this on thick as well. And just push the button to stop it. And then it tells us to remove the cutter and the shaft. Just going to take that off. And so we've got our onion. I don't know how that must have fallen out of the cutter, that part, but we've got all our grated onion, garlic, and potatoes. This smells really good, actually. So I'm going to take out my shaft because I don't want to mix that up. And sorry, so transfer the grated vegetables to the mixing bowl. So I'm just going to tip them all in to the bowl. And then, so we're going to pop in 35 grams of plain flour. Oh, sorry, you can't see my screen, but I've just got the scales up.
I think it must depend if people are on a phone or a laptop, because I can see your screen, but I've got you on landscape. Maybe some others have us on portrait. Okay. I don't know. But yeah, I think, is that better now, Linda, that she moved the camera down?
And an egg. Yeah. And then some salt. I'm just gonna tip it in because that'll do. You could measure it if you wanted to, and then 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And then we're gonna pop our lid on. And we're gonna mix this on speed 3.5 for 20 seconds. Okay, and then so ensure potatoes are coated with egg mixture and mixture is not dripping off spoon. That looks pretty good. Apart from the potatoes, I spilled down the back. So I think that looks pretty good. So what I will do now is they get cooked in a fry pan in oil. So I won't bore you with that. Oh no, hang on. Oh, that's if I need to put more flour in. So I think it's thick enough. I don't think it needs more flour. So I'm skipping that step and then pop in a bowl, and then it tells you to cook it on a fry pan. The really cool thing, some of you may or may not have seen the videos that are included on the TM6, some of the recipes. It will guide you and show you what to do. Not all recipes have it, but some do, and that's pretty cool. And then I will just fry them and I'll show you what they look like. So give me a few minutes and then I'll serve it up with some sour cream.
Amazing. Thanks, Penny. We'll come back to you soon.
Yep.
In the meantime, this next recipe I wanted to show you was something I was making for dinner for my family tonight. And it has some cooking stages. So I pre-recorded the video so that you don't have to sit through the cooking stages. So just bear with me while I share my screen for that. And this is the chicken Buddha bowl, which everyone loved and said was delicious. Please make it again, Mum. So here you go.
Hello, I wanted to show you how to make this recipe that uses the Thermomix Cutter attachment. It's called the Chicken Buddha Bowl, Thermomix Cutter TM6. And I'll just get started. Well, it says to add a liter of water, some salt and oil, and I've already done those 3 steps. And inserting our basket up there, press next, the scales will come up and it's asking us to add our rice. So it wants 250 grams of long grain rice. So just watching the scales on my screen to get the right amount. And I'm using jasmine rice, but I am confident that that's okay. So we press next and we're going to be putting the lid on. I need a measure cup. And we are cooking that for 15 minutes on 100 degrees, speed 4. The rice is just finished, so I'll just press next. I'm pretty sure it's just going to tell me to remove that. When you're removing your simmer basket, there's a little hook on the other side of your spatula so that you can pick it up. And I'll just sort of let it drain for a few seconds. But what I want to do now is rinse that under cold water so it stops continuing to cook. So I'll quickly get that over to my sink. And so I'll rinse that under cold water and then just put it in my bowls to cool down while I carry on with the next step, which is to rinse the mixing bowl. I'll just tip out the water. Give me 2 seconds. And we're adding some ingredients to cook the chicken. So I've got some soy sauce and sesame oil that can go in there. And forgot to say that while the rice was cooking, you don't need to stay in the kitchen for that. That was 15 minutes. You can go do whatever else you need to do in your house. And then the chicken. So I've got chicken breast fillets for this one. I'm sure you could use thigh if you wanted to, but today I'll follow the recipe. So I've put that in and we are going to place the simmering basket on top, which I need to grab one. I didn't have that ready. And cook that for 8 minutes on 100 degrees reverse so that it's going on the blunt side of the blades and on speed half, so 0.5. So that will go for 8 minutes. And actually while that's happening, I want to show you how you can multitask. Ooh, that way. So if you come here and press the 3 dots on the top of your screen, you can go to the recipe detail and look ahead so that you know what next ingredients you need to get ready. Because while that chicken cooks for 8 minutes, you can get out all these veggies. We're going to have lettuce and carrots and tomatoes and cucumber and avocado. And you can even get your ingredients for your sauce if you want to. Yeah, and you can just press continue. So I've actually just had a peek inside and I can see that all the chicken is like completely shredded and cooked and everything. And it may be that I cut my chicken smaller than it needed to be, but it's ready. So even though I've still got 2 minutes left, I'm actually just going to stop that. And you can see what we've got here with the chicken's all nicely cooked and shredded. So it says to pour the cooking juices into a little bowl and we'll see how much of the juice we can get out of here. So I'm just going to use my spatula to block it, block the chicken from coming out. You don't need to be too diligent with this, just whatever will come. And these juices we are going to reserve to put into the sauce. So that's not going to be wasted anyway. Okay. Oh, I spilled some chicken. I'm always making a mess in the kitchen. You can see this nice pile of chicken here. I will clean that up soon. So it says to leave the chicken in the bowl and then to shred it. Now, it says to shred for 4 seconds on speed 4 on reverse. That's the general shredding meat sort of recipe. It's always speed 4 on reverse, usually about 4 seconds. But this is, as you could see, already super shredded. So again, I'm just going to skip that step and move straight on to the next step, which I need a clean and dry bowl for. So, okay, I have grabbed my second bowl set that's nice and clean and dry already. But if not, you could just clean and dry the one you were using. And it's telling me to get my veggies ready, and I already have them pretty ready, so I'm skipping through these steps. And this is what you can do anytime in a guided recipe. It's not controlling you. You're allowed to just skip through what you don't need to do. So, to put the cutter inside, show you all the pieces. So I'm just going to put the cutter shaft in so that it's just standing right on top of the blades. It's really only one way to do it. Then we put our bowl inside, and we're choosing which side of the cutting disc to use, and we're going to be slicing. So I'm going to put the slicing side up, which is the dark side. Hopefully you can see, it says side 1 on it, and there's a picture of sliced discs, so that's side 1. Yeah, so we are going to be slicing our lettuce first. So then the lid goes on, and have your pusher ready. Now to do your lettuce, you can, I've just got some baby cos. You can, what they say to do in the booklet is to fold it, roll it actually, really, so that it's folded into sort of a vertical amount that you can just glide through the cutter. So yeah. So that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to guide the lettuce through on thick. Might as well stop it while I get my next bits ready. But again, I'll just sort of roll it together. However you want to do it works. Okay, so now I'll show you the lettuce. Just a little bit left. So once you're done with the cutter, you can take off the lid, and you can see it's all shredded nicely. Where's my spatula? And I'll just put that aside so that we can carry on with the next ingredients. So it's better to, if you're not following a recipe, to organize all your ingredients so that you're slicing everything at the same time, and then grating anything that you need grated. So just so you're not having to change the side of the cutting disc, because obviously to change it to be the grater we need to turn it around. So I'm just going to leave it as is on the slicer side, and yeah. And now we're doing our, I'm skipping onion because my kids don't like raw onion. They love it in food, but anyway, so I'm just skipping that step. Obviously now, if you want to do that, you can do that. But now I'm going to do the tomatoes. So we're going to slice our tomatoes, and I've just got 2 Roma tomatoes ready to go. And I should point out, before you do this, you should always try and make sure it will fit through the cutter. So I've actually shaved a little bit off this one because it was a fat Roma. So, yeah. So we want this one on thick. And that's as quick as it is to do your tomatoes. And we'll arrange that. And then we're going to do our cucumber. You can see our tomatoes nicely sliced there. So I'm just going to tip these out into a bowl. Some of the lettuce was still in there, and that's okay. That won't matter in the end. And so now we'll do the cucumber. Just going to guide it through. Me being messy again. Still on thick. We still want all these veggies on thick. And next is our avocado. If you didn't care, if you were happy to have it all in the same bowl, you wouldn't need to keep tipping this out in between each ingredient. It's purely just because I want to show you the texture of it all, and the results of it all in between each one, is why I'm pulling it out in between each one, so that you can see. I don't know if that's better. So now we're doing our avocado, still on thick. So I've just taken the shell off, like the peel off, and the seed out. Shell. Again, very quick. And on thick mode, the cutter slices 4 millimeters, and on thin mode, it's 1 millimeter. So there's our sliced avocado. Show you this. Very, and it's good to have it uniform. If you're wanting all your bowls to look the same, that's what the cutter is also good for. And if you are slicing up veggies for to be cooking with, another good thing about the cutter is that it does them in a uniform way so that they will cook evenly. Okay, just getting that avocado out. Okay, get it all out of my bowl. I'm just going to wash my hands from that. And yep, done all the avocado. The only thing left we have is our carrot, which I want to grate. So I'm going to take my disc out and turn it the other way. So I'm turning it onto side 2, which is for grating. And I'm going to do that on thick grate so that you can see how easy it is to grate your carrot. Just having my pusher ready to go. And that's done. So now the next thing we want to do is make our sauce. I'm going to show you the grated carrot. You can see that, whoop, other way, is all grated very nicely on thick. And if you wanted it grated thin, obviously do it the 1 millimeter option. Yeah, I was happy to have a thick grate for that, for my salad. And now just remember when you're finished using the cutter to take out the driving shaft. Very important that you don't forget that that is in there. So this says to add in our reserve juices from cooking the chicken. There might be a few little shreds of chicken, but we're not going to worry about that. And some coriander goes in, as much or as little as you want. The recipe says 7 sprigs specifically, but whatever you want. You could also use mint if you didn't like coriander. Now I'm putting in a fair chunk of salt. It says ½ a teaspoon. So, and some pepper. Probably only need a pinch of pepper. And we are putting in some natural yogurt, which you can make in your Thermomix. That's a really good tip for saving money with a Thermomix, is to make some of your own ingredients like yogurt and mayonnaise. And so you know that they're all, well, you know what the ingredients that are in them. And cheaper, healthier, yummy. Okay, so that's the yogurt and the mayonnaise, and that's it. I need my lid. And we're just going to mix that for 15 seconds on speed 4. Okay, I think we are done now. We've got our dressing here. And yeah, sprinkle the bowls with, you can garnish it with some cashews or sesame seeds or almonds or whatever you want to garnish it with. Extra coriander leaves, and then drizzle some of this sauce over the top. So while the sauce was mixing, I was just putting some of my ingredients into the bowl. And so I've put rice down first, and then just everything you want to put in it. So I will, there's my spoon. And that's made a lot of dressing, so it will go over everyone's salad bowls. But just dolloping a little bit over. And there we have it. It's our Buddha bowl, or some people call them nourish bowls, whatever you want to call it. And can I just say also, as a side note, if you don't want to use chicken, if you want to use salmon, there's a really beautiful sous vide salmon recipe on the Thermomix, and if you shred the salmon after you've sous vide it, that goes really nicely into a nourish bowl as well. But yeah, there we have our chicken Buddha bowl, ready to eat. Enjoy!
So there we have that Buddha bowl using the cutter for thick slice and thick grate. Hopefully that was helpful for you. And so I'm going to go back to Penny to show us the end result of her potatoes. If I can find the button. Oh, you're on mute. Yep.
Thanks. Can confirm these are delicious. May have already eaten one already. And so it says to serve with some sour cream. So I will pop a small serving sour cream on top. Oh, and it slid all over the plate. So they're really tasty, and they make cute little mini waffles as well. I've got this mini waffle maker from Kmart, and I haven't used it, and so cute. Anyway, it actually makes quite a bit. There's a few left over, so I think the recipe also says to sprinkle with caster sugar if you want, but I'm going to keep mine completely savoury. So that's a really nice little breakfast or dinner, or whatever. Do you want me to do the next recipe as well, Laura? Yeah, okay. So the next one I'm going to do is a little dessert, which is quick and healthy. And it's a frozen yogurt bark. So we're going to slice our strawberries for this one. So we're going to line a paper plate. We're going to line a baking tray. We're going to weigh in our strawberries into a bowl, which I've already pre-done. And then we are going to pop our cutter on. So again, we pop our shaft over the blades. And then we're going to pop our cutter bowl to the bowl. I'll just move that back a little bit so you can see. And we are going to put the shaft basket slicing side up. So slate for slicing is going to go up. And I'll pop our lid on. Okay. We are going to start the motor and gently press the strawberries down so the strawberries are going to go into the small. So there's two sides to there's a wide one and a narrow one. We're going to pop it into the narrow one. So I'm just going to pop the strawberries in there that's good enough. And then we are going to pop it onto thick. And then I'm going to fill that up again and do the next one. And last one. On pig. Okay, so that's 100 grams of strawberries sliced. And it says to transfer it to a paper plate. Oh, sorry, a plate with paper towel rather. And that's what the sliced strawberries look like. So they're not mushed really. I was actually surprised. I had to practice this afternoon because I wasn't convinced it wouldn't mush my strawberries, but they look pretty good. There's also a stack of recipes. If you pop Cutter into the filters in Cookie Doo, there's heaps of sort of sliced fruit type salads and stuff, which would be beautiful for summer. There was a really nice pear and blue cheese salad, and there was a rainbow salad. So just spread them out just so a bit of moisture gets soaked up on the paper towel. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I take that out because I don't want to grind that up. It would be disastrous. I'm going to pop in 120 grams of sugar. Look at that, almost spot on. I'm going to pop our lid on. And we're going to mill that for 15 seconds. And I'm sure you've all seen the sugar to icing sugar thing, but just in case you haven't, that's our sugar milled into icing sugar, which is always impressive. So we're going to pop our butterfly tool in, and then I'm going to weigh in 250 grams of Greek yogurt. And then we're going to pop the lid back on. We're just going to mix this all up for 30 seconds. Okay, so transfer to prepared pan and spread evenly over the surface with a spatula, and then arrange strawberries on top and freeze for 6 hours. So I'm just going to move that. So I've got one of our rose gold baking trays and I've just popped some baking paper on top. And I'll just take the butterfly out. And then pour our yogurt, sorry, you can't see that, into the tray. I probably should have scraped the sugar down. And spread it out. It's going to be very rustic. We like that. And then we're going to lay our strawberries on the yogurt. And then that goes into the freezer for 6 hours. Because I hadn't tried this before, I thought I would make it this afternoon. So you get the idea, the strawberries just go all over the top of the yogurt. And I'll just show you what it looks like once it's done. So I did prepare one earlier. I don't think it's quite frozen enough. Oh, it's not too bad. Probably still a little bit sticky, but it's only been in there for 3 hours. So like a yogurt bark. And then you store it in the freezer. So that would be really nice on a summer's day or even in winter if you like frozen fruit. Delicious.
Certainly does look delicious. Thank you, Penny. All the different recipes we're yet to try. Okay, so I wanted to show you now how to find some other cutter resources. So first of all, in Cookie-Doo, for those who use Cookie-Doo, I need to reset that. Just on your home screen, you could type in the word cutter. You can see I've done that. But actually, I also like to just really make sure all the cutter recipes will be included by going into filters. If you scroll down to the very bottom, you can choose which accessory you want your results to bring up. So I'm just going to tick cutter and show there's 395 cutter recipes that have been made in the English language. There's probably more in other languages, but yeah, so lots of different things you can play around with. Also, once you've used the cutter and know what you're doing with it, you don't need to be following a recipe. You can use it to help with just anything. So that's one thing to show you all. And sorry, just checking chat in case. Oh, someone's just ordered the cutter. Awesome. Yeah, you're going to love it. And the other thing I want to show you is on the thermomix.com.au website. If you go to this search bar and type in cutter, I've already pulled it up here. You can see a bunch of info about it. And the one thing I do want to show you, if we scroll down, keep scrolling, there's different tips and tricks here. But here you've got this welcome booklet. And now this is like, I know not a lot of people like to read instruction manuals, and not saying you have to as long as you know what you're doing with it, but this is actually a very good guide, especially if we get down further to all the different types of fruits and veggies. Here it gives you a guide, like if you want to do eggplant, cut it in half or quarter lengthwise, make thick slices, and there's different tips. So find the veggie or fruit that you're wanting to use, and it will guide you through. And you know, there's handy little pictures, and yeah, just makes it really easy to follow. So that welcome booklet is just on the thermomix.com.au website. Yeah, so that's the two resources I really wanted to show you there. That's kind of pretty much the end of us showing you how the cutter works. I will just let you know that for a limited time, we've got some offers. So, well, it's available for purchase. It's $219. That's just always. But for if you're wanting to earn a cutter, you can get it for free by becoming a Thermomix consultant. You get a cutter and a blade cover peeler along with other goodies all along the way. With your first 3 sales gets you the cutter and blade cover peeler. Another way to earn a cutter is by hosting a demonstration. This could be in your home with a few friends, or it could be virtually, like online, like what we're doing tonight with you and a few friends. More of a private group where we can be more interactive and show off the Thermomix just to see if any of your friends are interested. For hosting, you can get the cutter for $159. But if a guest purchases a Thermomix from your demo, you can get it for $19. So that is on until, I gotta get the date. I feel like it's 31st of July. Yeah, and I can put that in the email again tomorrow as well. So that's the July special for the host reward. The earning as a consultant is ongoing and being able to purchase it at full price of $219 is also ongoing. Yes, it was out of stock for a while, Sharon. So sorry about that. Everyone wanted to get their hands on a cutter, and it was a little too popular for the manufacturers to keep up with us all. But we've got them now, and so there's 3 different ways to get it. So that's the end of our class tonight. Super thanks to Penny for making some dishes for us, showing off the cutter and eating. Love live reviews of the food. So yeah, I'm just going to end the recording, but I'm also going to stay on in case anyone has any questions about anything. So feel free to come off mute or put it in chat.